welcome to Millennial Chat. This is Aaliyah.
And this is Zitlalit, bringing you the trending or most controversial topics.
This video series will highlight the minds of Latino millennials.
For this episode, we're going to talk about college students transitioning from in-person classes into a virtual classroom.
We are going to be speaking to Delia Carrasquillo from Westchester University and Michelle Guerin, Cabrini University alumna, about their own experience.
And speaking of experience, let's talk about ours.
Yeah.
So I actually graduated 4 years ago from Westchester University. So yeah, times have changed a lot in the past 4 years.
Yeah.
Class of 2016, baby.
That's when I graduated high school. I am a recent graduate. I graduated in May of 2020 and I lived on campus. So yeah, I got hit with the COVID my senior year, which it was difficult.
It must have been different. Because from what I remember, I would have hybrid classes when I was in college. And there would be like maybe, Fridays would be online. But it was different because the professor wouldn't lecture, so there was no Zoom call or anything, but it was like, what do you call them? Like online work
Discussions.
Not discussions, but it was more like he would put up a lecture that he would pre-record, or you would have to complete tests. Oh my gosh, horrible, because I was horrible at them. And if they were timed, really bad. So I'm glad I graduated 4 years ago. Sorry, I went through this, and I know it's really hard. So props to you guys.
It was pretty tough going virtually because I never really had like a hybrid or like took any online class. I'm more of an in-person kind of learner. Virtually, I did well. I didn't do bad, but I did well. It was something to adapt to.
Yeah.
Just like I said before, I was very lazy and laid back, and there was times that I would turn off my camera and go shower. And every time my professor will call my name, I was like, how about the shower? And I would like participate in class.
But you know who else has stuff to talk about? Delia and Michelle. So they joined us for a Zoom call today, and then this is what they had to say. So here they are.
My name is Delia Carrasquillo. I go to Westchester University and I am a junior now. My major is social work, and once I graduate with that, I plan on coming back to pursue a nursing degree.
And my name is Michelle. I just graduated at Cabrini University, which is in Radnor, Pennsylvania. I studied digital communication and social media. Well, I hated it, honestly. Really did not like the transition. Totally going online. First of all, I went to Cabrini because they had small classes so that I could get individual attention, so I could get the resources that I needed. And so when we went totally virtual, I definitely wasn't prepared. Kind of what you said, I was kind of lazy about taking classes. I wasn't 100% motivated. But I think the ultimate challenge that I had to go through is when COVID hit, everyone had to go home. So my house is super small, but having my class time being interrupted by other people walking in, or just trying to stay motivated and trying to stay focused, I think was the hardest part. But we've come up with schedules and stuff like that, but I think that definitely was one of the top challenges.
Yeah, it was difficult for me because I'm a very in-person person. So I sit in the front of the class. I love talking to the professors and even going to office hours. So the transition was really hard, especially going home. I got super lazy. I would lay in my bed and take my classes, and then I even fell asleep some classes because I was just oh yeah, I'm home. I don't associate home with school. School is school and home is home. So when I had to do school at home, my brain was just what is this, And I definitely procrastinated way more. I think the environment of being on campus, just we're all on campus doing the same thing, taking classes, going to the library, working. And at home, it's just me and myself. So I just procrastinated everything. I'm taking virtual classes, but I'm living on campus. So it's kind of different for me. I think if I was home and doing the virtual classes, it would have been more challenging. But since I'm on campus, I think I'm better adjusted because I have a separate space, a space to sleep and a place to take classes and study. So it's been going really well. It's only day 2, so we'll see. The professors, they're definitely more prepared. Like, they've been exploring new ways to engage us virtually. They have like many resources for us. I think they really took whatever time they were given and used it to cater to us. So they've been doing a great job here.
My whole goal when graduating, I knew freshman year I wanted to have a job set up right before I graduated. So like right when I graduated, I would graduate, and then the next day I would go to work. And so when that didn't happen, and I would apply to companies, apply nonstop. I would have a whole Excel sheet. When that whole idea didn't come to mind, when I had that idea for 4 years, it was definitely a slap in the face. I definitely didn't feel motivated. I didn't feel like did my 4 years of college even do anything, you know what I mean? But even having, like, if you apply to a job and you did the cover letter, you spend like 20 minutes or more on the application, and then they would apply back that they weren't hiring because of COVID. Like, that was definitely not motivational. But then I started going to different webinars or workshops online where I saw other young graduates or people still in school not knowing what to do next. So kind of directing my energy towards something else, towards building myself and building my toolbox basically, has helped a lot with kind of dealing with not having a full-time job right after college. So like things are happening now, but that whole not having a job right after graduation was definitely not the ideal situation that I wanted, and it definitely didn't make me feel good at all. But once you kind of, again, take a break for yourself, understand where you're at, I think just taking a pause and taking a breath definitely helped a little.
So I was too busy for myself. Like, I didn't have any time. I was always booked and busy. At times I'd be like, oh my goodness, like I forgot to eat. And then I'm like, okay, I have 10 minutes. Let me see what else I can find. Once quarantine hit, I was like, wait, I don't have to do anything. I don't have to be anywhere. Like, this is crazy. And I really realized that like I was depriving myself of so much like self-care time and just personal time. And I realized like I like to sing and play piano and things like that. And I stopped doing a lot of the things that I love because I had so much time taken away from me because I spread myself too thin. So I think that was the biggest like thing I learned, like always make time for yourself and make sure you're okay. And then you can provide for these organizations and classes and work.
Really forced people to take time for themselves. I think everyone was running around trying to fulfill a position, do something, classwork, catch up. So when everything pretty much stopped, it was like a forceful, like, hey, check in on yourself. Like, how are you doing? Like, don't tend to these people, tend to yourself. Like, what's up? So I think that was definitely kind of like a slap in the face if you really run around all the time. But I think it was definitely helpful and rejuvenating.
People, I was at the front desk at the student union. So like I would see all these students walking by and they would just hi and just talk to me, and my workday would go so fast. So now I'm back at work and like it's like a ghost town. I just want to see people, you know? And I'm excited for events. I miss, like, we have cookouts and programs, and I think that's what I miss the most about like this whole pandemic.
I definitely agree with that. And then also going out without a mask, because I'll like randomly smile at people, but they can't see it, so it's like awkward for both of us. But that, and then I really wanted to take my master's, but I put a pause on it because of COVID. But obviously things won't go back to the same, but I think from this something positive will hopefully come out of it. So that's something to look forward to.
I'm a strong believer that everything happens for a reason. So even though it's not the most ideal situation, I think it's important to keep a positive mindset because you never know what you're going to get out of this experience. And it's not going to last forever, especially for the freshmen. So I'm pretty sure, praying that we'll eventually come back. But I think I would definitely encourage them, if they live close, to just come see the campus, especially because our campus is open. They can even come here just to familiarize with themselves with the campus, or maybe even take their classes here to feel more engaged or like they're on campus. I would also say get out of bed, because you'll definitely be more focused and alert if you get out of bed, because it's so easy to turn your camera off and be cuddled up in your blanket. But I remember when I was doing that, like, I wasn't paying attention. So if you want to get the most out of it, I think it's important to get out of your bed.
I think obviously if one person's feeling lost, there's someone else feeling lost. So not to put too much pressure on yourself for feeling alone or feeling lost in any which way. I feel like for some of my friends that are taking classes now, they have group chats, like GroupMe, anything like that. So never be afraid to reach out to people. Obviously everyone's going through it together. So just to reach out, I think.
Advice to you guys, don't take your classes in the shower.
Don't do that. Don't be a me.
No, or don't just turn on the class and stay in your bed and just listen to the class. No. Get up, go to the living room.
Have a schedule too. I think that's something that I lacked. Because since it was my senior year, I would have my classes start like at 1 o'clock or so. So I wouldn't get out of bed like 5 minutes before. So make sure you get up on time, you shower first. Eat, you do what you have to do so that you could be up and attentive when you are on class virtually.
Definitely.
That's something that I learned. I mean, obviously I'm done with college and school and stuff, but for all like my freshies out there and people who are going to be in virtual classes now, that's my tip to you guys, and that's what I learned from my experience.
So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you liked the content today, and if you guys have any suggestions, please leave a comment down below.
Yes, and you can also visit our website at aldianews.com and follow us on all our social media platforms at Aldia News.
Okay, good luck to everyone studying this semester.
This is Aaliyah.
And this is Zitlalit. And see you next time. Bye.